That's a huge shame for Kev Marshall there, one of the great stalwarts of this.
Yeah, we've got green flag at the back there, Keith. You're right, you can say Kev Marshall been around a few years now, and it's always good to see him in the YPM paddock there as the red lights go on, and away we go. Richie Walsh made a good start earlier on today, but it's a bit of fresh air underneath that front wheel this time around as Mark Haig moves up into second place there, challenging up the inside, but not quite close enough this time around. I think he's just been...
David Ball's going to be the outside there. He's, but right on the back of Richie Walsh now.
Side-by-side action there between the number 8 machine of David Ball and the 30 of Alan Cooper there, wasn't it? But you're right, Richie Walsh right there in the mix, and Mark Haig making a good start on the 110 bike. But Keith, are you there?
I'd like to think so. No, I'm not here. It doesn't seem as... I don't know what to press or touch. There's nothing obviously loose. It's...
No worries at all. Well, I can just about catch him up on the...
Okay, there's something there. Yeah, I'm back. I'm going to try and not move my head. That's the trouble. I've only turned my head a little bit, and all of a sudden the microphone switches off again. This is so frustrating, and I can only apologise to people listening there. Maybe you need to get our own headsets and plug them into these places. Yeah, they took off down the hill there. I think that was Alan Cooper leading the way. I couldn't quite make out the colours of Mark Haig and David Ball from the distance. Once they get a bit closer to me, which they're going to be doing in just one moment, down the hill they come then. And it looks like a little bit of a breakaway at the sharp end there. Right. That is Alan Cooper leading, I think. He's at the number 30 machine. It is indeed. David Ball's behind him. Then is Mark Haig. Then is Paul Whitby. Then is Richie Welsh. You're right. Richie most definitely did not get a particularly good start. In fact, in relative terms, front row, that's a disastrous start. So he's definitely going to have his work cut out if he wants to clamber onto the top spot of the podium. I think his rivals would love to see Richie claim a win as well. But unfortunately, they've also got their championships to think about. So it's a little bit of a selfish sport in that way. But, you know, that's what racing's all about, isn't it, Rick?
Yeah, man, you've got to beat anyone that's out there. Absolutely anyone.
Yeah.
They want a piece of you. And I think that's probably what happened to Richie Welsh on the first lap. Someone had a piece of him and they drove him back. He was in second place.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just waiting for them to come back round to you guys. You can give this confirmation of that. And give us some of the gaps there and things like that. And let's see if... Mr. Welsh can maybe pick up a bit of pace there. Do we know if Richie's going to come out and play a bit later in the year at all, Rick? Have you heard anything?
I don't know exactly what his plans are, chap, I'm afraid.
No problem at all. If he's going to come out anyway, you'd think it'd be one of our Cadwell Park meetings, because Richie's a bit of a local hero around Cadwell Park.
Cadwell Park action.
And, well, okay, he's only got the one opportunity, though, because unlike last year, the YPMs aren't going to Cadwell Park twice. Last year they went to Cadwell Park twice because they came along and supported the sidecar meeting. This year it doesn't look like they're on the calendar for that one, so unless that's a different side, it doesn't matter. They are at Cadwell Park once anyway. Right, disappear off out of the sight once again, waiting for them to come across the top of the hill. Alan Cooper riding absolutely superbly this year so far on the...
Yeah, he took the lead at Old Pool when he came through here, mate.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just having a look on the screen there, Keith, as well. I think we've got like a leading group of 5 actually. It's a bit of a gap.
Yeah, that's right.
First go.
Group of 5 being led by David Ball now, and a good move from David. Looks like Paul Firth has dropped to 5th because Richie Welsh has found that plate. Now Mark Haig has got Richie right behind him, and Richie pulls out as they go up the hill. He hasn't got the herbs to go straight past because Mark Haig carried a little bit of corner speed there. But what Mark has done is drop back just a little bit from the leading pair. So if Richie wants to get on terms with them, he does need to find his way through. And again, he's only got the 7 laps here. These guys have cut their laps down just so they get the rerun of the race from yesterday, basically. So it's a 3-race day for the YPMs here. So it's a big old schedule for them.
We've got the first second times coming through now, Keith, and Richie Welsh is the fastest in the first sector of this first line lap there. So they're making the way out of Deers Leap now. And you can see that Richie is there in 4th place, but it could well be a challenge for the race lead there as David Ball comes across the line. Alan Cooper has a look for the inside, but David Ball holds on to it round Old Hall. Mark Haig having a good ride, still there in 3rd place, ahead of Richie Welsh, who puts in a 57.144. So that's the fastest lap of the race so far, with 5 laps to go, ahead of Paul Whitby. Andy Bursko at 4.1 seconds adrift, but has Jeff Moog 0.8 of a second behind him.
No changes, they come through Cascades once again. Again, that gap between the 2nd and 3rd is very obvious. Mark Haig certainly doing a good job there, not quite able to stay with the leaders, but he's got the pace to stay ahead of Richie and Paul at this stage. And once again, we see the field very spread out. Just a quick mention again, I did mention it earlier, but just in case you didn't hear, John Hamilton unfortunately caused the red flag yesterday at Old Hall when he lobbed it into the scenery. He's okay. He's been texting some of his colleagues, some of his racing colleagues from hospital. A bit of a bleed on the brain apparently, but nothing too critical at all. So that's all good news for the rider who was flown out here in the helicopter.
Judging by some of the messages, he's on some good drugs as well, Keith.
Excellent. That's the one good thing. You must have been in that situation as well, Rick, where you find yourself in hospital and you're all beaten up and they give you some amazing drugs, don't you?
I can't remember, Keith. That's
mate, I remember getting a morphine shot. My arm was hanging out in pieces, but they gave me this morphine shot. I knew I still had a smashed up arm, but I didn't care anymore. I just
you did a proper job, didn't you?
Yeah, that one I don't remember. Yeah, the old let's try the coma for 3 weeks diet. Yeah, that's nice. Lost some weight. Yeah. Trouble is, I found it all again. Yeah. It's all good.
Man's got to have a hobby.
Yeah, it keeps you occupied, doesn't it, mate? All right, where are the leaders? They back with you guys yet?
Coming around the at the moment there, I can see 1, 2, then there's a bit of a gap back to third, and I say a bit of a gap, it's only around about 5, 10 bike lengths or so actually, it's opened up a little bit. Yeah, but
the line up the inside from Cooper, and he's tried but failed again.
Second time in a row, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Old Hall corner, where Alan Cooper's had a look at the inside, but David Bull just about hold on to the lead as Mark Haig is keeping Richie Welsh at bay for that third place. And this is good stuff there, isn't it, Keith, from the 110 of Mark Haig. Of course, he is a clubman rider.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have a lot of experience. He's one of those guys you think he's been around for a while, but apparently he hasn't, basically. And he used to come out in that lovely Aprilia RS250 as well, beautifully prepared Chesterfield-coloured RS250. A very nice machine indeed. In the Blue Haze class he rode that in, didn't he? And did quite well in that, but he's came out on the YPM Renter bike last year, and again the Renter bike is available. I don't know if it's still available for the rest of this year, but by all means get in touch with the guys and girls on their Facebook page. On the same token, if you get in touch with Graham Lewis at the MZs on their Facebook page, we do have an MZ bike available for a couple of the meetings left. Again, I'm not sure if it's still there. I don't think it's out this weekend. So
yeah, Chris Wincott. Sorry, you're talking about the MZs,
yeah, no, well, talking about the YPMs.
Yeah,
Chris Wincott out there this weekend.
Yeah, out there this weekend. He's just come past us. Number 100 for anyone who wants to go up for him.
And yeah, if you want to have a go. Well, these four still very close as they come past me, and finally Richie has found his way past on Mark Haig. So now he's going to run out of laps here very shortly. How many are they going to have when they come over the line this time, back?
When they come across the line now, it'll be 3 laps to go. They've just completed.
Okay, that's plenty of time for him to plan and make a move.
Richie Welsh has just gone purple in the first sector, and he's around about a second quicker than anybody in front of him.
I'm not surprised, mate. He had closed that gap right up, and I think unfortunately Mark Haig is going to have to lift his skirts a little bit, maybe kick off those.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and it's a pretty much nose-to-tail stuff between the top 3 there. Mark Haig a bike length or so just behind them, but onto the front straight once more. So Alan Cooper is leading this time around by 0.3 of a second there as Richie Welsh puts in the fastest lap of the race of a 1:23.538.
This was 2 groups of 2, it's now a group of 4.
Excellent.
Yeah, only 1 second covering the top 4 as they go across the line there. Paul Whitby up next in a lonely 5th place, 4 seconds behind and 7 seconds ahead of Andy Bursko. Then it's Jeff Moog. Damien Lee now ahead of Liam McCarter by 0.3 of a second for 8th place.
Okay, are we back? Yes, I'm back. Yay! Okay, hopefully I get the commentator on the last bit of the race here, waiting for the leaders. They just disappeared off towards Island Bend. Good little battle going on a little bit further back behind those guys as well. Looks like we've got a 4 or 5 way battle going on. So some good scraps all the way down the track. Somebody's having a bit of a lonely race just coming past me now. Who's that?
Just a quick one.
70. Go on, mate.
We've got Andrew Mook in the pits now, number 92, Andy Mook in the pits, and we've also got the Lac-of-Adhesion flag showing out of Deers Leap as well.
Okay.
Why, but it doesn't seem to be slowing anyone up as they come across.
Well, to be fair, it's a relatively straight line there, isn't it? So you don't need to worry too much about that, I'd hope. Up Alan Cooper, David Balls go around the outside of the back marker trying to get an advantage. Oh, Haig's got the advantage. He's gone past on Welsh. Welsh goes up the inside of the back marker, but it's all changed at the back there. The lead remains as it is, and unfortunately Richie, Mark Haig has definitely been learning from playing with these guys. He's found some extra speed and off the hill he goes. So it could all change there. There's the Adam Collins. That was the man who's having a bit of a lonely race. Man from London there. Right, the leaders are going to be back with you guys very shortly indeed. And you'll be able to call the ball as to who's doing what to whom, I imagine.
We've got a few tail enders coming into play there. I think that was race leader just going around the outside there and around Lodge and out of Deers Leap, in fact. And there's almost side-by-side stuff between David Ball and Alan Cooper. Cooper looks to the inside, but again, David Ball has it covered. Mark Haig there in third place now ahead of Richie Welsh. And Alan Collins, you said, having a lonely ride there. He's just looking to improve his lap times this weekend there and go out and have fun is Alan Collins, the man from Lincoln. So good stuff there for the man on number 77. But the race leader's heading back down the avenue towards Dentons and Cascades. But it was Ball, Cooper, Haig, Welsh across the line in that order.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. This is the last lap now, isn't it, mate?
No, right, penultimate lap.
Oh, penultimate lap, okay, all good. So did wonder about that. So wait and see. So a little bit more time for Richie to try and regain his way back to the podium. But
Andy Wales has just pulled into the pits as well. Sorry, Keith.
Okay, he's having a bit of a wretched weekend, poor old Andy Wales, and the TZR there. He's running that and the MZ, both finicky little two-strokes. A lot of work to try and keep two bikes going, even when they're both quite reliable things, isn't it, Rick?
Oh yes, I spent all day yesterday, literally all day yesterday, working on TZRs.
And you're not even here. You haven't even got a bike here. So we're going to see you at Snetterton doing the same thing as well.
Maybe, mate. Maybe it's a month away, so we'll see. We'll see. I've enjoyed myself, so
it's more fun than working on washing machines.
You're not wrong there, mate.
Right. Okay. We've lost Richie. Richie has gone walkabouts. I've just seen the top three come past me. No change at the sharp end. Paul Whitney's just gone past me, so I don't know where Richie's gone. I'm not hearing anything on the radio at all, but unfortunately we've lost a Welsh somewhere around the circuit, so definitely not going to be taking the top spot today. Yeah, everybody else coming by, and I haven't seen Richie come through at all, so
I'll have a look on the screens here, and I can't see anything on the screens either there, unfortunately.
I guess he's not tripped the timing beam at the first sector there, has he?
No, that's right.
That's right.
So last lap flag now going out then, and it will be to Ball, Cooper and Haig as they come across the line now. And in fact, Mark Haig's mounting a challenge on David Ball there. He's on the inside. Oh, David Ball so strong around the outside.
He's toughing that out.
Absolutely.
Chops across the front of him.
Yeah, Alan Cooper leading the way there. All of this unfolding behind him there. But Mark Haig really had a good look at the inside of David Ball, but David was having none of it.
Really good stuff, Dan. You're right, Mark Haig. I tell you what, he's found the pace. David Ball is not giving up on this either. He's carried a lot of speed down through Cascades there. He's picked up go away with this in my phone. He's picked up.
See, I think they're on the way towards Island Bend there. I think you're back now, Keith, are you?
No, I don't think I am.
No worries. I'm just going to try and keep an eye on the screens here while you get the microphone all sorted there, hopefully. But around Island Bend they go then, and it will cross the line. Like we say, it was 0.2 of a second, not only covering Cooper from Ball, but the top three, in fact, were covered by 0.28 of a second. So we're watching them in towards Britain's there. Nothing to separate them, but to go through the change of direction from the right to the left. Get the power down over the top of Hilltop there. Keith, I don't know if you're there. Doesn't sound as though he is, unfortunately, so we'll try and pick him up on the split when they make the way through Hisses and Knickerbrook, and then on the rise up towards Clay Hill. Of course, that is where the first sector ends and the second sector begins, but we'll try and pick them up when they do go into that second sector. So as they came across the line, 0.28 of a second was the gap between Cooper and Ball. I can imagine there's a few changes of position potentially, as in fact Mark Haig is showing is now second place ahead of David Ball as we go into the final half of this closing lap. Cooper, Haig and Ball, that is the order as they go around Druids. A double apex right-hander, of course, rises up on the exit, gets a little bit loose on the big bikes underneath the Warwick Bridge and heading towards Lodge. We'll keep an eye on the screens there, but there's going to be nothing to separate them. In fact, I can see side by side there, it looks like that was Mark Haig trying to go for the inside line on David Ball, but it's going to be all about the run to the line there. Alan Cooper will take the victory on bike number 30 ahead of Mark Haig, who takes victory in the Clubman's and second place overall, and David Ball, bike number 8, in third place there. But what a ride from Mark Haig, the Clubman.
Yeah, that's a fantastic ride from Mark. Really good effort. He was determined to scrap for that. You could see it every time he came past.
Absolutely, and I can imagine that all he was thinking throughout the course of this race was that there's a win on the cards here overall.
Yeah,
well,
I think he wanted to win, but Dave fought for his second place, and unfortunately at the end he lost that, but a good scrap nonetheless.
Absolutely. Paul Whitby there will take third in class actually there in the YPMs there, fourth place overall for Paul ahead of Andy Booth. Then it's Andy Bursko, Damien Lee, Liam McCarter, Alan Bushell, bike number 6. Second place in the Clubman's ahead of 64 Ian Davies, and Ian just ahead of Tom Ritchie by 0.4 of a second.